let's try this again. Back with another bird. Perhaps a bit larger, actually. And let's hope this one goes better than the last one. Oven's already started back up. We obviously still have the bread proofing. I actually could probably go ahead with this pretty soon. Refund went well. They gave me... They refunded it essentially no questions asked. I mean, I explained what it was, but... And... then not only gave me a refund, but gave me some bucks back. They gave me a discount on this bird, and they gave me a card as a discount on a future one. No, hey, we have gizzards with this bird, and when we didn't with the last one. I'm not gonna... we can keep most of that. Let's see. Let's see if this is like the thousands of other birds I've taken, or is this the same? Looks about the same. Looks like a normal bird. This is a bit less frozen, at least. Thankfully looking like just about any other chicken I've ever pulled apart before. Unlike our last round. Much better. Much better. I also took the extra time I gave myself to restart stream to catch up a little bit on dishes here. I have my stuff set up to count down to a time as far as my intro. I felt counting down to 2 o'clock was a little too quick. Or down to 2:15. So now that I've cleaned up all that, we'll take our sheet pan, give it a fresh parchment. Give our tongs a little bit of cleanup here quickly. And use them to put all of our chicken pieces on our roasting pan. I'm using the tongs explicitly now because I've got my hands now nice and clean once again. Now my hands are dirty. Yep, we're making buns tonight, buns. Clean up all of our chicken pieces, our equipment that was. I made sure and scrubbed everything down once already here after that last bird. I switched knives and gave this board a good scrub, which I'm going to do again now. All right, so we'll season all this with a bit of salt. Dry my hand first. and all of the chicken parts into the oven, 400 degrees. Take a look at that in 35 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to get all of our veggies together here. Using kale too. I've told chat my thoughts on kale before. That isn't really how I want to do this, I don't think. Redo. Chat's thought on music tonight. I don't know if I'm loving this song compared to the rest of it, but I just sat there and enjoyed this entire playlist last night after making it. Might have to ditch that last song there. Thank you, Will. A little ugly on that one. It's always sort of satisfying doing this. Just sort of letting your knife coast through it. Not seeing much in the way of the dirt in between. Oh, there we go. On one hand, these leaks seem much cleaner than my usual source to them. However, at the same time, not nearly as good of a deal. I know everything's going up in price, but the way they're grown, how much of that was green, and yeah, just not as good as of a deal. Rockport, good guess. Make a decent shoe. And after all, they do call the poor chefs shoemakers. It's a rather slanderous thing to say to a chef, because you're implying everything they cook turns to leather. Thank you, Seeks.
Twitch didn't give me another notification.
That's a shame. And I'm guessing that the Discord maybe didn't fire either because I didn't reload my bot. Let me check that. I did. Sorry for the Discord ping. It bleeps out your chicken. Let me try that one. Your chicken. I'm not sure where you're meaning. In the captions? Apologize for that, tree bow. I have messed around with the moderation settings, but I don't think that I have the stuff all on. Let's see here. Oh. I guess I can see in probably majority of cases here on Twitch it being some sort of gaming situation and that being a very welcome message in chat. I can see that being an easy call for just in general. Oh, I also got to cut up some onion here. Yeah, Twitch did just sort of stealthily add a whole bunch of new mod stuff on the back end here, including this whole new, like, safety mode or something along that line. And so, unless streamers have been paying attention and looking at their settings and going back into them, I found mine gotten quite a bit more restrictive than I ever had them set. So I assume that's probably happening to a bunch of other people. Like, I can sort of understand the changes that Twitch has made and why they've done them, and I think they're good changes. However, at the same time, I think the communication, as many times as the case here with Twitch, was lacking in, oh hey everyone, we updated your settings. Little like windows in their sound settings constantly resetting. It's an interesting word as far as food. Considerably less interesting to me otherwise. Nice. Let's get the bread going here next. Need to portion our bread here. Alright, so we got our dough here. We're going to, let's clean up the board a bit. Get the flour back out. Bacon! Bacon! I'm going to take this and cut this dough down into, let's say 6. Then, as usual with them, we're balling them, pulling the outsides taut. Trying to get them to ball up a bit for me. This first one's being a bit difficult, but all the flour on the table does not help. He's wanting to sort of clean table space for balling. And then need a place for those to finish their proofing, so I need another pan and parchment here. I'm not planning ahead. I don't have my mies. Alright, so we got a pan. This may be the dwarf of the bunch here. And I'm trying to roll it a little bit into the flour more and more as it gets too dry. Like, it's a little bit of a game. You want it to be not completely dry. You don't want it sticking to it, but you don't want a ton of flour there because you want it to stick a little bit. You want it to be sort of tacky against the surface. Random thought, random question. We got any Tarkov fans playing the new wipe? Which I have yet to play Tarkov ever, but I've enjoyed watching a couple of streams of it. Excuse me. Yeah, we can go a bit longer on that one. It may be a bit violent for my viewer base, maybe. I don't know. But it's... Well, if you maybe took DayZ and made it entirely very, very involved and much more ruthless. It is very much a rage quit game. Yeah, I was watching Landmark last night with some ridiculous number of viewers. Like, I think it was over 100,000 viewers he had last night. Yeah, it's something that certainly I don't have the hand-eye for anymore. I don't have the trigger finger for. But it's sort of fun to watch because it is not too far from real, war-like scenario where, you get shot, you're probably dying or you're not feeling very good. And has some of the harder AI targets I've seen in a game. It's PvP, but it's also PvE. And I think one of the things they've done, we'll probably see more in games in the future, where it's a beta, but they keep completely wiping their servers. Like once every couple of months, it's like if you essentially give up all of your progress every couple of months and have to start over. It's a little bit, yeah. It's almost slightly morbid. All right, let's get to cooking everything else here. Ooh, our chicken's just about ready to come out. I'm gonna give that a bit longer. Give that another 10 minutes. So I'll get started with all the other veggies here. Turn our stove on. Our big pot up here on. Sunflower oil. Oh, that's a bummer, Buns. It has been a cold one this winter. So we're waiting on that to finish heating up to start smoking, almost smoking temp. You don't have to go to full smoke with just doing veggies, especially since it's sunflower oil and higher temp. But we do want that sizzle, which this pan may. It's maybe a bit higher than the mic, so I don't know how well it's going to cross the mic tonight. And the house immediately smells amazing. Amazing. This stuff, Buns, this is lacto or dino kale. Lactinato kale? Something along that line. It's one of the most common and I think oldest forms of kale. So I'm using kale tonight, Buns, and I'm sure you've been here when I've talked about how I feel about kale. Celery going in. Carrots going in. Bit more salt going in. Thought the oven had canceled itself, so I tried to reset it. So it beeped at me to say no. Add in the leeks now that I chopped up. That's fine. Thought I saw a piece of heel there. That's why I'm doing a little investigating here. Did I see a piece of heel in there? Oh well. It'll cook up with the rest of it. Almost. I mean, that's a rounding error. And we'll throw the kale in there last. I say last, but it's certainly not the last thing going in there. But it is the last of the veggies in this part of it. And some of our seasoning here. Some garlic powder. Onion powder. don't know if named after you is the right saying there. Some dried thyme. Actually, pretty heavy on the dried thyme there. Where's my regular? Whole bunch of regular paprika. It sounded like Ozzy, unless he took a turn for the worse, Ozzy was doing pretty good, last I heard. Just not testing well. There's our chicken. As I realize I don't have any towels out again. I have more towels available, but they're not folded, so. There's our second chicken of the day. I'm going to toss these tomatoes in with the veggies so they don't cook too much. And I'm going to throw some water in there too. And beans going in liquid and all. Taking us to Bean Town tonight. They ain't black-eyed, but they be beans. And into this, I am going to add our carcass from the chicken to continue cooking. Our gizzards and neck and wings. The rest of this we're gonna switch to our freshly cleaned protein board. Well, we've already done vegan week. What else have we've done? We've done tofu. There's several other things that you had the influence in that area with. Give these a couple minutes to cool down so they're easier to tear down. And then we're gonna put all that lovely liquid in there too. I were doing stock, I might be afraid of the amount of fat that I'm putting in there right now. This is flavor. And if it is too much fat, we can just ladle it off. But it's flavor. That is flavor. Have I ever had pickled pig's feet? I don't know if I have. I do know that it used to be my Half-Life Counter-Strike. One of my names I used in Half-Life Counter-Strike. Because if you remember back in the day, I think it was a Bud Light, one of the major American beer brands. Basically anywhere you are in the US, I don't think you could avoid the radio commercials of Mr. Such and Such. In my case, being Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Man. And I took that and ran with that as my handle for Half-Life for the short period that I was playing CS. So I'm waiting for that to come back up to a bubble over here. And I don't know how much more liquid I want to throw in there. I definitely want to throw in a bit more liquid in there, so I'm going to fill up another pan or two of water here. Didn't buy eggs. Yep, I don't have any eggs. So we're not going to egg wash these tonight. I was realizing that I had eggs on my list at the shopping list, on my shopping list at the store. Got to the store, piece of paper in front of the eggs, a bunch of eggs there that I haven't bought from before, a bunch of brands that I hadn't seen before, and piece of paper. We're having a national egg shortage. Which I don't know if it's national or if it's the major brands or... And so... Yeah. I think I'm going to take a little AFK here while we wait for that liquid to come back up to a boil and for these to cool down so they're nice and I'm not even worried about the temp of them when I'm pulling them apart. Oh no, no eggs. No eggs. I suspect if I went to a couple of different other stores that there would be plenty of eggs available. But because I went to a major brand or major chain, they didn't have nearly as much. Alright, we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. On my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you start to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way, and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this. Drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast while they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here's a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season, when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just hit it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can. Lift up the safety and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans, or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven? Catch a hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness. Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. That will come out like a donut, golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating...
All right. We be back. How we looking, everyone? We got our liquid back up to a near boil here. Or maybe a light boil. Very light boil. Maybe a simmer, depending on who's talking. Thank you. So I'm going to take this lovely skin off of this chicken and just enjoy that. And then the rest I'm just going to sort of rough chop. sort of hope to somewhat shred it, cut it with the grain, sort of a thing. That was not a good sound for my knife. The one I played for that AFK is there's just so much going on that's just what? Like between if you notice the back of the salesman, that I think it's for the microphone, but like his jacket is going like way back to hide something. I think it's to hide the microphone. You know, and then you have the carborundum stone sharpener that the knife seems to slice through like it's paper or a piece of wood. And some of the, I mean, like, you have one of those spiral cutters. He was saying they're cutting all the same. It's entirely based off of how fast you're cutting, how quickly the screw goes. And so if you vary, as you very likely will going from one side to the other side, you're going to get different thicknesses throughout. So it's not going to be anywhere near as even as he's like promising. That's definitely boiling now. So we'll cut that flame down a bit. Still want a flame, but cut it down a bit. I guess I could have put those into the soup too, depending on how long you're cooking this. This is something that we could just let this cook at this point and let it go for quite a while. The beans will break down and a lot of the veggies will break down, but the flavor will still be all in the soup. And the beans will just, as they break down, just suit to thicken things up with their starches. Overcooked breast meat. I'm debating. How long I want to go on cooking those wings. I basically want to cook it until those wings are falling apart. Well, we don't have any good source as far as eggs for tonight for our wash on our rolls or on our buns. And so I think I'm going to use a little butter. Melting butter is exactly what I used this pan for before, so we'll just keep using it. Butter makes everything better. I'm sorry, vegans. It's just true. I missed the Giphy. What was it, Buns? So I'm going to brush the melted butter over the top of these buns. And those lovelies are all going into that 400-degree oven. We'll see how we're doing with those in a little bit. We'll let our soup simmer while those roast or bake. And I'm debating, do I add the chicken all in there now? Or do I wait until I fish out everything else and then put the... Well, let's throw all the chicken in there. Let's just throw it in there. That's all good. Disney Dreamlight Valley recently. I don't even know what that is. Which it doesn't shock me at all that I don't know everything Disney. I mean, just by the fact that they're a major corporation like that, but I don't necessarily follow them at the same time. We can start off by what is it? Is it an experience? Is it a video game? Is it a movie? Is it is there a new Ohio theme park? Okay, so it's a game. Okay. Decorate houses, unlock characters. Sounding... Welcome in, New Habitat. You got the rolls in the oven, and that is our roasted chicken soup. Working on chopping up a little parsley, or at least going to here shortly, and some green onions. leaving some of the stems in there. Though this one's annoying me enough that I think I'm going to pull that one out. That's part of the reason why the scramble's there. Using the green onion tonight just because I've had it in the house. And this will be a good way to use up most of it. Excuse me. I'm going to use up all the whites in with this too. Actually, let's keep the parsley separate from the green onion because I'm just going to throw all the green onion in now ahead of time and do the parsley at the end. This way I'm not at all worried about. I doubt what little greenage I'm going to put in there from the green onion is going to turn it bitter. But generally you do avoid putting green. Actually, maybe I'll save the green separate. Then we can be even safer about it. get these in. Did set a timer for my rolls. Let's give them a brief look-see. Don't want them to burn. They're doing quite fine. So we're just going to allow this to simmer for another 7 minutes here while our rolls finish baking. But yeah, that chicken was weird. Has anyone in chat seen a chicken like the one before the break, before in the previous like hour-long stream? I'm happy the store took it back. They didn't look at it in front of me. I think I was lucky in the sense that they knew I was a somewhat regular customer, and they were just like, yeah, no questions. We want to keep them. Is that a good thing or a... Because it started off sounding like peach tea night, like, that sounds a good time, that sounds tasty. But the whole, it's the only option, makes me wonder if it's... I almost bought some soda at the store today. I was royally confused at the sale that they have this week. It's... I want to say it's buy two, get three free. It's worded that way. Like, I was sitting there staring at it, like, they can't be... You buy two and you get three... It has to be you buy three of them, you get the third one free. I gave up on it because I was about ready to show up there with 5 of them. Be like, sure, give me 3 of them for free. Even though the price nowadays, like, it's about what I remember paying back a while ago. I remember ages ago doing, I think it was buy 5 of them at Target for, it worked out being something like $25, and they give you a $5 card on top of it. It was the best deal I could find back then. Yeah. At the cost of soda, at least of the Coke and Pepsi brands, has to be some weird science. I mean, most of that stuff is selling for less than you can probably get the containers to the store for. They have to probably calculate in all the gas and the weight. And those rolls have been smelling tasty. They're actually overpowering the onion and veggies and chicken over here. It's just smelling like fresh bread in here right now. It's also quite warm in here. I'm gonna have to open some windows or something, even though it's like 60 out tonight. Which, it has got a little bit warmer the last couple of days now that... I say couple of days... Last night and today it seemed to warm up since it stopped raining. I guess I haven't pumped that up on... we talked about it briefly before, but... Ingredient challenge, which is not showing up on Discord still. There we go. We have this week's vote finally up there. I was a bit late with getting that one up there this week. So the vote this week for Wednesday, I'm gonna either have to cook with pickled pig's feet or pluots. Pluots being very interesting fruit, combination of a plum and an apricot, in several different varieties. There's plum cots, there's pluots, there's a different spelling of pluot. Either way, that should be an interesting evening. There's our rolls. We'll turn this hot oven finally off. Nice, lightly browned. The egg wash would have given us a more of a glossier, darker brown, but I'm fine with this. And these are on the heavier end of enriched. You know, there's a decent amount of dairy in there. There's some butter in there. So it's not just your. These are going to be soft rolls, hopefully. It isn't the whole Tangzhong. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. Japanese milk bread method. It ain't quite that far, but those ought to be some soft buns. Everyone having a good Sunday? Hopefully everyone's getting their relaxation time, enjoying maybe the last couple of days until you have to go back to work. As I said, yeah, the weather here was pretty nice. I didn't think too much about the sun. Starting 1 o'clock, we're going to have a lot more sun on this stream, and there was considerably more when I first got going. It was definitely streaming right into the window over here, which is actually sort of a pleasant change, because I'm used to it streaming in from my doorway and creating light streaks that make everything else dark. And though hopefully the new GoPro should help with that, because it has what do you call it? It's the exposure. It's like it's a standard across for better exposure coverage. Finished off the scotch the other night. Finished the scotch off last night, rather. Sort of debating at what point here I want to pull everything back out here. I'm just sort of waiting for it to finish simmering here. I'm pulling this dirty bowl out because I'm not going to be reusing those buns. Those buns smell so good. Those rolls smell so good. I think I sort of want to wait for these. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I sort of want to wait for the green onions to cook enough that they start falling, so that they're fully cooked through. You got an A on my origami assignment when I turned my paper into my teacher. Okay, dad joke. originally read that as, instead of origami, I read original, which really threw me off on that. I had to read it aloud in order to catch that one. Yeah, the jokes haven't been too bad tonight. At least on part of dad joke. I don't know how I'm doing. Probably pretty horribly. Yep, it'd be bubbling. It's been bubbling for a while. And talking and thinking aloud there, I think I sort of came to my own answer. I think I'm going to wait to cook that and simmer this until we get our green onions starting to fall down with the rest of the veg. Which is partially, they're coated in oil, so they need a little bit of encouragement, but nice, beautiful, dark golden color there between the chicken, the carrots, the tomatoes, the paprika in there. Really loving the color of this soup tonight. And the more we cook it, the more I'll be okay with the greens in there. Because they'll more and more disappear into... Okay. Now I think we can start pulling this out since we're falling apart. Thankfully. There's our neck. Still working on finding those wings. There's one. That's starting to fall apart nicely. That one's falling apart too. Last thing I'm looking for is maybe a large piece of that gizzard, or the large piece of the offal that I threw in there, not the gizzard. There we go, there it is. That's at least part of it. I'm not going to sweat a little bit of that being in there. So we got all the primary bones and stuff that we're worried about being in the soup still. Let's pour ourselves a bowl of soup here, folks. Well, of course, add a good pinch of this stuff in there. The rest I'm just going to toss in with the rest of the soup. Turn the heat off on that. And to go with our soup, let's take a look at these rolls. A little overproofed, a little soft, but nice soft dinner rolls. Perfect for soaking up all that goodness. Just screaming, wanting some butter with that. So thank you for joining me on my first 1 p.m. Sunday stream. I'm going to be doing another long stream next Sunday. We've got all things pie. We got Will Poker's theme for this upcoming week starting on Friday. And so next Sunday you can see I'm going to be doing puff pastry, but I'm going to do a blitz puff pastry, which is not your it's a quicker blitz, it's a quicker puff pastry. So hope you come back to join me for that. Going to be back on Tuesday. It's going to be my next stream. I haven't quite planned out what what I'm doing this week. We got the ingredient challenge going on in Discord as always. We have someone who has guided our raid this evening. Thank you, Zeeks. Yeah, I've already thanked everyone. I've already said I hope you come back. Let's start that raid. I hope everyone has a lovely evening. Happy Sunday to you. Darn it. Twitch. Let me raid. Alright, folks. I hope you give Tabatai a good welcome. Say hello to him. I'm gonna go enjoy my soup. I hope you all have a great evening. And see you on Tuesday.